No, he was too tall. He was with the Queen's Guard, and they had to be tall. But he wouldn't let go. He followed me. He was literally running after me. I was with my girlfriend, who was a student nurse, and we were walking along. He followed me, and he would not stop following me. We ran, and he ran after me.
It was my first husband.
At last, the love she'd longed for had come along, and they'd embarked on a life together. They became teachers and moved between Denmark and Greenland, and they had children of their own. Helena's life had now really begun. But putting a traumatic history in a box just isn't that easy. Little was known about the cruelty that she and the other children had been through. Helena just hadn't processed what she'd endured.
Jeg er gift og havde børn og børnebørn.
And so it was many years later that I learned about it, and that was through the well-known Danish author Tina Bryl, who became a very close friend. And one night, she asked me suddenly, who was your mother? Who was your father?
Hvem var din mor? Hvem var din far?
So when I told her that my mother was called Madalena, my father was called Henrik, and that I had been at a children's home, and she said, how come you went to a home when you had your mother?
På børnehjem.
So she then made me start wondering about it, and she said to me, I'm going to go and look at the National Archives and find out, because it doesn't make any sense that you were in a children's home when you had your mother. She rang me. I was in my 50s by then, and she said, I found it.
Til mig og sagde, nu har jeg fundet. Ved du hvad der står?
Do you want to know what it says? It says you've been part of an experiment.
Jeg har været med i et eksperiment. Så tabte jeg telefonen og faldt.
When she said that word, I dropped the phone. I fell on the floor. So that was the day in my mid-50s that I discovered I'd been part of an experiment.
At this point, of course, you have an entirely different life. You've left the orphanage behind. You've become an adult. You've got married. You've fallen in love. You've had children. You've done all of those things. And now in your 50s, you're being told you were part of some social experiment. What are the things that go through your mind? How do you respond when you're told that your life, your whole childhood, was part of an experiment?
Jeg fik jo chok, og så græd jeg meget i den tid. Og så var det.
It really helped me a lot. I was very shocked for a long time, and I cried a lot. Tina Bryl then came, and she then decided to write a book and included a chapter about me, and that was good. But it didn't include everything. It didn't include all the things about the children's home. So I said, I'm going to write my own book. And you know, that's been kind of a cathartic experience. One day my husband asked me, what are you writing? And I said, well, I'm writing about my life and about, you know, everything that happened to me and how I was part of an experiment. And he started to read and said, my God, that's exciting. Go on, write, keep writing.
Skriv videre. Hold kæft, hvor det spændende.
How many children had been involved in the experiment?
We were 22, and we are only 6 left.
Only 6 left. What happened to the other 21 children? Did they